It's Kevin McLean here at the Galt Museum and Archives. We're down in the vault right now. I just want to say welcome to everyone, and I hope that everyone listening to this and watching this is actually safe and well in the comforts of their home and family. The Galt Museum and Archives has been collecting objects since 1964. The majority of the objects that are down here with me in the vault were actually acquired passively, which means that people on their own initiative decided to volunteer to give us things. So often in the present, they'll email us, they'll phone us, they might even walk in with these things. And that is how the vast majority of things that we have today came to be here. Last year in 2019, we received over 100 of these types of offers. And in fact, just yesterday, despite the fact that we're closed, I got another 2 calls of additional passive offers. But what I'm here to tell you about today is actually one particular item that was passively donated to us back in 2019. And that happens to be this wonderful Sony CD player that was given to us by a gentleman by the name of Mr. Rod Schultz. So the CD player excites me on account of 2 reasons. The first reason is that it is relatively modern, as you can see. So this is something that is digital technology. It potentially still exists in some form, although maybe not used in people's homes. And it could be something that people take for granted because it is still perhaps relatively common, and maybe they don't think it would have any value whatsoever to a museum collection because it's not something that they would think qualifies as quote-unquote heritage. When people think of giving us objects, what they generally think of are objects that are quote old, old, old. That's what they equate as being heritage. But what's counterintuitive to this is that when they are old, 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 they are also associated with memories that are equally old, old, old. So where we are able to acquire something that is more modern, more contemporary, in fact, those memories are much fresher, they're much newer, because perhaps that object is still in active use in the moment and or it was in very recent use. So those are a couple of the reasons why I am extremely excited about this object. So this object comes to us with memories, memories that are specific to an individual, and that individual and the object itself are specific and have a relationship to us as a community and to this place, which is Lethbridge and southwestern Alberta. The object itself has other examples that exist that are just like it. So other identical CD players were made at the same time. They were distributed across the planet. So what makes this distinctive to us and what makes it interesting to me is the fact that it can help us through its memory. And these are things that we call intangible heritage, intrinsic value, and what we like to call here object voice at the Galt Museum and Archives. These are the things that make it distinctive and unique to us. So finally, the player, Mr. Rod Schultz donated it in January of 2019. He had bought it in 1994. He actually traveled specifically from Lethbridge to Medicine Hat to the Sony store there because it was not available anymore in Lethbridge. So he went and got it in Medicine Hat. He brought it back. He paid $2,500 for it, and he was actually using it right up until 2018 when it broke, and he was not successful despite his valiant efforts at trying to fix it. So with that, we're going to now listen to the voice of the CD player, which is the voice of its donor, Mr. Rod Schultz.
This is an electronic piece of art that it was really at the top of its class. These units here were the most sophisticated CD player that Sony ever made. These were ones that were sought after by people that were stereophiles, and they wanted to get the very, very best quality. It is something that could bring me to tears. I could be emotionally attached to it. If I could have fixed this, it would still be in my system. And I just hit this roadblock, and I couldn't do it. You asked me why it's important for me to do something with it. It's one of my prized possessions. This was the cream of the crop. And that's why I decided that was the one I was going to own. And after I found it, I didn't believe it could be any better, and I just kept with it, and I just treated it the best I could. I used to spend 4 hours a day listening to music. When kids went to bed, I had my quiet time, and that's when I kind of fell off the face of the earth and just embraced what I call ear candy. It's almost like if I sit on the sofa And I listen to music, it's almost like I elevate from the ground. That it just takes me to a different realm. It takes me to a different place. That's just me enjoying something I love. This could not have a better home, because I trust you folks. Archives are important to what we are and who we are. So I have a connection here, and I really believe in what they're doing.